So it's going to be a race where no one wants to block, but someone has to be the first one to block.
Green deck able to put up a good amount of blocking power, but doesn't do much if all of the attacks are coming in the air or through a signal pest.
Yeah, and if you're not blocking, then or if you're blocking, then you're not attacking. And not being attacking here sounds awful because there's nothing to attack. You have to be beating. It seems like Moto is slightly dying. We are having trouble getting players to play matches. Did you find the other match
I have
working?
hopped into the other match, so we are now, after all of that windup, we are now looking at Wordwood once again, playing against the mono green deck this time.
Yeah,
Hopefully, those players are able to get that resolved. I think players have been able to get matches started. It just has taken a couple turns.
yeah,
We'll keep our eye on that and see if we can hop back over to it. But in the meantime, better to watch something than watch nothing.
exactly.
And we have great magic being played, even if it's not a mono white versus mono green matchup. If you're Wordwood, what do you do to recover from a match like that? Because that is an emotional toll, right? And a mental toll.
Yeah. So as they said themselves, then they were gonna go stretch their legs, get that blood flow going again. It's a long time sitting down, and in that tenser match, you do tense up. Your whole body really just tightens up, and you get kind of locked in. So get up, do some stretches, walk out around a bit, get a glass of water, do some
Yeah.
self-care, uh, and try and just, as hard as it is, try and just take a few deep breaths, steady yourself mentally, and try to forget what you just went through and see this as a new match. But I would not be surprised if Wordwood was playing a bit off here and not being at 100%. That would
There
be,
was not a lot of time to recover from that match, but the show must go on. Um, Wordwood also struggling to compete against a lot of creatures that attack very profitably through an overgrown battlement.
yeah.
Down to 14 here.
We see Reclamation Sage having taken care of one Spray of the Suns.
Now let's see if
Gideon.
Gideon will buy a little bit of time here.
I imagine it will assassinate a Steel Leaf champion. Yeah.
Yeah. You'd like to be able to put that Vengevine away somewhere where it can't come back, but unfortunately, everything that we said about Thrun is also true to some extent about Vengevine, although it does take a little bit more work.
Yeah. And Luis has extended quite a lot uh, of cards here. And this whole, do you want to extend even more into a potential sweeper or potential something else? Or do you just attack with what you have here? If Wordwood wants Gideon to survive, he has to block with Oaken Battlement. Um, so, I mean, sure, Steel Leaf Champion is down. This buys him some time, but it's not great. Okay.
Magic Online now canceling the Pauper events too. Sorry to all
Yeah,
our
the Pauper
Pauper
Challenge.
Pauper fans out there.
So, and maybe, hopefully, that stabilizes the client for the rest of us, to be honest. But
Yeah, Pauper does put a heavy load on the servers. No, well, we only have a few more matches to get through if we can just power through
yeah,
these last couple. Um, hopefully, we
it's
can
like
take it home today.
when you're doing a long road trip with a shitty car and like the last few hundred miles, you just come on, you can make it, please, please hold on. That's all of us to Magic Online right now.
Yeah,
Green Since X equals 4, another Vengevine. There's only two of those in the main deck. I should know this deck list by heart. And that goes all to Wordwood. Still sacrificing an battlement. I imagine there's a sweeper coming then. I cannot imagine
Yeah,
that
that
there's not a
there's
sweeper.
got to be for you to make that kind of block, right?
Yeah,
And Sweeper into plus Gideon is good, but Louis knows what's going on,
yeah,
and you know, ostensibly will be anticipating a need to bring these Vengevines back.
yeah. Like there's two cards in hand for Louis. I would not be surprised if those both of those were creatures.
That being said, we could see Louis be a little choked on mana here with Colony Hydras or something that isn't playable if that Jiraga Tree Speaker goes away. So, certainly you sweep if you can because you're the control player and sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, the alternative to sweeping is not great. Okay, we are not going to sweep, so I imagine we'll see Gideon uptick here.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what this con will do. That's actually really interesting.
Does Karn dig for something to sweep with?
There's just the two closing over. Remember, this is the Super Friends deck. It's not your traditional control deck.
It does look like our white on green match has been able to get started, so that's a good sign for things to come.
Excellent.
Not going to
Hopefully, we
leave this
can.
game in the middle, but
No, I agree. Yeah, we see the Gideon uptick, and this is just, yeah, Luis is not going to cast any spells this turn.
no need.
No,
He
because
has
everything
everything
is
he
just going to go.
needs.
Everything goes to Gideon, and if there's a sweeper now, then
I
it would
imagine
truly suck.
I imagine the sweeper will still result in two Vengevines attacking next turn.
Exactly. So that's not very interesting. Yeah, and we're just getting Ogre Battlement. No, did we not? Did we accidentally not get a card back? Or what happened? Kyara. Okay. Yes. And then Ogre Battlement. So both our Planeswalkers survive. Kind of beautiful.
We should know by now that Wordsword has something in mind. as
Yeah,
as things look bleak for us, greater minds prevail and find a path. So
yeah. He he's definitely, if someone can dispatch this mono green menace, it's definitely this very calm, calculated mind that even when faced with immense pressure, just quietly, I imagine like a British aristocrat sitting there quietly taking a sip of his tea and just, very well then, I shall.
Kiora kind of showing its strength here on the Vengevines as well. It couldn't do this to
Yeah,
Thrun, but you can sure do it to Vengevine.
it's really it's a beautiful deck as well. Just chunk all like the planeswalker. I think Jamie touched upon as well. The planeswalkers are really powerful
Yeah.
this time around, and Word was just like, "I'm gonna play all of them."
Just playing Dominaria block constructed over here with his Karns and Kioras, and sure we'll
No,
throw in a Gideon.
the cures are from Born of the Gods.
Are they?
They are.
Well, I stand corrected.
We are having planeswalkers from four sets here. Two-thirds of the Set Roulette sets are represented in the planeswalkers.
We've also seen an Ajani in play today.
M19, yeah, and Judgment obviously didn't have planeswalkers. They were not introduced until Lorvin. And many actually thought that would kill Magic. That was one of the first big scares, right?
I wouldn't say one of the first, but it
No,
was.
there was Mana Burn, being discontinued, there was damage not being put on the stack, but that was after the Planeswalkers, right? My magic
Yeah,
memory is a bit
the
off.
rules change was after, but I think people have been predicting the death of Magic since Alpha, Beta,
Yes, it's
Unlimited.
before Magic.
Well, I would kind of like to hop over to this green white matchup just because I have a feeling if we
Yeah,
don't, we'll never see any of it. Um,
yeah, let's do that. Let's do
and
that.
over here we have it looks like 4 Battle Screech tokens, as predicted, facing off against a Vivian Reed. Hero Bladehold threatening to make all of those bird tokens a little bit bigger. And Student of Warfare being protected by a Dauntless Bodyguard, potentially leveling up to get stronger here. And on the other side, we have a Sea Leaf Champion ×2, an Elvish Clan Caller doing the thing it's been doing, while Vivian Reed continues to create value. So we have a nice little standoff here, both players doing things. The bird tokens do seem to be a bit of an advantage, although the 2 Steel Leaf Champions are a formidable counterattack. Here we see a massive attack coming in. How
Is
many
this just
birds?
is this all face or is it
Who
Vivian?
cares about Vivian? Oh, there we go. Okay. Magic
I
Online was
imagine
taking a
three.
minute.
I imagine
Yeah.
3 birds of
We have
Vivian.
3 at Vivian, and that makes sense. We will take out the Vivian. Might as well.
I mean,
But
you
10
run the
damage
risk.
coming in on the attack back, right? Um,
Yeah.
More than that, actually. This is potentially lethal with the Clan Caller. Student of Warfare will be able to block one of them, though, notably.
Yeah. Yeah, you eat the Hero of Bladehole and then you just accept your fate on the rest. I guess Druid of the Cowl can block Night Grace. Wait, oh, Druid of the Cowl can block Dauntless Bodyguard. So Student of Warfare um, cannot be protected when it blocks next turn. So that's somewhat interesting. The question here is, do you try to save your hero to have a beefy attack next turn as well? You lose a blocker, and this all comes down to, yeah, who want to block first? I think you need to save your hero. I'm not sure. Yeah, this kind of works out. You have 2 first strike blockers, the clan callers cannot attack. So I think you just take 12 and accept your fate here. Oh no. Oh no, there was a land, so he has to block like this. Oh god. That is god awful. Aspect of the Hydra. Turning race upside down. So what we're looking at for sideboards, I don't even know if, yeah, this was the first game. I wonder how Karadadom, I assume Lyra is coming in. I assume Oust is coming in. maybe you want to have a Johnny to be able to get your creatures to match the green creatures in size. Like the matchup will definitely slow down post board. Both players want to go somewhere where they to a plan where they gain more agency and they try to prolong the game. I think Remy, I think, might just actually go the other route. Comes to after looking at the sideboard and try to make his deck even more lean. So maybe we won't see Vivian Reed as well as much, but we might see Rabbit Bites and Root Snare to get that half Alpha Strike, and then when on the crackback just go Root Snare, and then get them back. Might also see Thrun to get a big beefy blocker or attacker for that matter.
Yeah, we've seen Thrun doing some very powerful, or sorry, Fog's doing some very powerful things in these matchups, and so even Root Snare, which is no prismatic strand, uh, does a decent enough impression when every attack is lethal.
Yes,
It's
and
the inverse of the control
notably,
matchup where attacking just didn't seem to matter because the life totals were well in the 30s on both sides. Here, every time something hits the red zone, it's an emergency.
yeah, notably there's no prismatic strands in Karate Dom's deck. And with the way this is played out from Karate Dom, I imagine they've like gone very controlly. This cannot be what they want to do, but maybe they're just like Battle Screech is great. I kept the hand with 4 Battle Screech. Let's effing go.
4 battle screech is a lot of battle screeches.
Yeah, you don't need much more than that, but can you stay alive not long enough?
This is slower than what we would expect from this white deck. Are are there any reactive cards that the deck might have brought in that would cause you to keep a hand like this?
We've seen there's one oust in the sideboard, and there's 3 main decks. They've probably gone up to the full 4. I imagine they might have brought in Lyra Dawnbringer, just to support that whole flying thing and being able to raise even
Two
more
clan
power play.
callers, very powerful start here.
Yeah, but I cannot. There's not. Doesn't seem to be the opportunity to go like the full 360 and go. I'm now a mono white control deck.
Hero coming down. It is a very powerful attacker when it gets a chance.
Yeah, but these Elvish clan caller. I mean,
Well, who needs to
it
search him if
sucks.
you just draw all 4?
Yeah, it sucks that you're not able to search them. I mean, that's annoying. Oh
Druid
yeah.
of the Cowl winning a fair fight against the hero of Bladehold here.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, do you mind taking 10? There's no transformational sideboard here. There's no suddenly there's 4 cleansing Nova in my deck.
Yeah.
Here's the Lyra, but is it too little too
Lyra's,
late?
I mean, it's a good card, but quite the army on the other side. Although the Lyra's first strike does threaten to weaken the clan caller a good bit.
Yes.
That being said, I mean, an aspect of Hydra is,
Ruins your
I
day
mean, yeah.
massively. But this ain't it. Caradon. Oust. Hero of Bladehole, Lyra. It's just not impact. I mean, it's stabilized for now, but you leave Remy with so many outs. I should say, aspect of the Hydra. Just another land, finding another clan caller, and then rabbit biting Lyra down. Also a problem.
There's just so many ways for
Vivian.
Remy to add a little bit of pressure that just does too much right here. I mean, there's really just it's just a matter of time before it doesn't even matter if Lyra gains 5 and weakens the entire team, it's still just going to be enough damage.
Yeah. I imagine there's an aspect here as the last card, and then it's just over. Yeah, this aspect.
Yep. And we see the
Jeez.
green deck continue to just eat every snack that comes its way.
Yeah,
Switching over to the other
that
match,
was.
it does look like Wordwood managed to take that down. We see another Oath of Teferi was in play. And it looks like we have 2 Kiora emblems there as well.
Oh, that looks good for Wordwood.
That is
I'm
a.
still trying to enter the game. I think I'll just watch your stream.
They are in sideboarding right now.
Okay, brilliant. Oh, that might be why I couldn't watch.
Let me just take a little screenshot of this. 2 Kiara emblem triggers on the stack. I'm really running out of room for all these screenshots that I'm taking of the Kiora deck.
Yeah, it's that's so silly. Let me see if I can get it.
We got a fast start coming out here from the green deck with a leveled up Draga Tree Speaker. No Fear this time, deploying a Druid of the Cowl. Nothing to worry about with the Tree Speaker against a deck with a lot of sorcery speed removal.
No.
Vivian coming
Get
down. We've
turn
seen
3
Vivian do
Vivian.
some crazy work in the past. And in fact, I think we saw this matchup earlier where the Planeswalker deck was hoping to draw Bolus's Clutches to take care of that Vivian read and didn't quite get there.
Yeah, Wordwood mentioned that to us. This Super Friends deck is so beautiful. I imagine we're in game 2, 3, 2, something.
Um, I am not sure. I'm not sure.
Maybe it's just game 2, with Wordwood taking the first one. But this Vivian seems to, like, even if there's a sweeper now, this Vivian seems to be running away with the game. But let's not count out Wordwood. They find a way. They always find a way.
Yeah, you have to prove to me that Wordword is at 0 life before I fully believe it.
Yeah.
See?
However, they
There's
would
the house.
love.
That's a start.
Yeah, I was just about to say they would love to have another land here. They would absolutely need to have another land here, and they did have it. But Vivian is at 8.
Do we see the Bolus's Clutches?
Oh, will we see it? Oh my lord. I really hope we do see it.
I would love nothing more than to see a Vivian Reed get ultimated by the wall deck.
Yes. I'm not playing favorites here, but it would be great to see that.
I
One
mean,
more
I
for the
root for
highlight
fun
reel.
plays, and that just happens
Yeah.
to be a very fun play. That being said, even that leaves them in a little bit of a precarious spot against quite a massive board from the green deck. Now,
Yes.
Kiora down ticking. Looks like we're digging a little bit here.
This is not in Bolus's clutches.
That is not a Bolus's Clutches, and this Vivian Reed might just make all the creatures indestructible. And
I don't
listen,
think there's
I
any
don't
point
want
making.
to count Wordword out, but that is pretty tough for the control deck to come back from.
If he gets out of this one, then he deserves it. Then he deserves it. All right, that ties up the match to 1-1. We're heading into game 3 in a minute. once again, it it is just you are just ahead if you are asking the questions rather than trying to answer them. And the green deck just threw question after question. Here's a Vengevine. Here's another one. Here's a Steelers champion. Oh, by the way, my Vivian stayed. What you gonna do?
Attacking from a lot of angles with Vengevine, Vivian does present a very formidable clock in and of itself, and pressure on the board and opposing planeswalkers. Not to mention that if it gets to 8, you cannot win anymore.
Yeah, and both Vengevine and Steelers champion just going there like, nah, walls, smalls, whatever.
Yeah. I don't care about your 4 toughness creatures. I have 4 power creatures. And you
And Steel
can't
Leaf's
block my
just a,
Steel Leaf.
yeah, it just feels downright rude, right?
It's a really powerful deck. I mean, the green deck looks like, you're let me just put a bunch of green spells in the deck, but there's some real beauty in um, the plans around the aspect of colony, and like Vivian Reed we have seen just be totally backbreaking against so many of these decks.
Yeah, that whole distract the control deck with all my recurring creatures. Oh, and by the way, then I also have this Vivian.
They got to the place with Steel Leaf Champion that I think a lot of people went to, but they kind of finished stronger by adding the Vengevine into Vivian combination that just
Yeah,
it's too resilient.
and that whole thing, realizing I don't need to be a Vengevine deck. I can just it is legal for me to just put Vengevine in my green deck.
And honestly, Vengevine has pretty good stats,
Yeah,
especially in this format. A lot of the older sets, the creatures were a little bit less exciting, and
definitely. We see Wordwood going for that F6 value here by evolving Wild Thing in his own main phase. And here we see turn 3 Vengevine. I mean, once again, Eldritch Caller attacking is just mostly aesthetics.
again,
Kayora,
that's the F6 value that you get from just right click attack all.
exactly. Bubbling the Vengevine. Will we see another Vengevine now? We'll
Who
see a
needs another
Vivian.
Vengevine when you have a Vivian Reed?
Yes. And what will we see then? Are we just going to see Planeswalker after Planeswalker after Planeswalker until Kayora
There's
ultimates?
still there is still breathing room here for um, Wordwood to do some.
Yeah, this game is far from even close to being decided.
Yeah.
But
Now
this
Vivian is. We have seen it just completely dominate this match. So um,
he scries to the top. There's a plan. A plan has hatched. We're all waiting excitedly. Bubbles the Vengevine. Kayora's at 4. What wins? Vivian Emblem or Kayora Emblem? So Louis is sort of have to respect this Kayora. So I imagine we'll see both creatures attack that can attack, obviously. Yeah, and obligatory blocking the land wells,
yep.
putting Kayora's at 3. And then playing the Steel Leaf champion.
Yeah, which does threaten to take that Kiora down, assuming it is still in play after an untap.
Yes.
But in the background, Vivian gets one step closer to 8.
And that's what's super scary for Wordwood here. Oh, there's some end step going on. Oh, that is heads up.
Wow.
Oh my lord.
Getting that mana spent when he could afford to spend it to protect the Kiora. Wow.
To
And there it
protect
is.
Vivian. Oh
Wow.
my god. That is so heads up.
We were hoping to see it, and there it is. And Vivian can now ultimate on the other side of the battlefield, protected by prismatic strands. Kiora gets one step
Still ticking
closer.
up here because we want to get these not 9/9 Krakens. We want to get that, turn that to 11, get those 11/11 Krakens. Oh no, we see another Vivian. This is disastrous.
That is a problem.
This is a massive, massive disaster. And the risk,
Look at this, and now Vivian gets to go off.
oh,
Brutal.
and Wordwood questions themselves, should have waited one more turn
But he couldn't
without
afford
have been
to,
the correct.
right? I mean,
Probably not.